Welcome to Chaotic Harmony. My name is John.
This is Crystal. We talk about the joys and the challenges of teaching music in the elementary school classroom.
We share struggles, we brainstorm solutions.
And we would love to have you join us.
Welcome back to another episode of Chaotic Harmony. This is part 2 of our video game music Laban collection. And in case you have not, if you missed out the last episode, pause. Go back to the first one, because what we're doing right now is we are collecting a bunch of music from different video games and compiling a list of the best set of video games tied to Laban movement. And once again, could someone just give a quick what's just one sentence worth?
One sentence.
One or two. What is Laban movement?
Laban movement is describing the effort actions of a dancer.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
And we can then turn that into music as well. But first off, that voice you just heard was Genesis. Hi, Genesis.
Hello.
Next to Genesis is
Jamie Jun brings the fun.
And we have
Jasmine Mah.
Exactly. This is our crew here that's going to be going through this list. So yeah, pause this episode if you haven't heard the first episode, or otherwise just join us in this one. Last time we did Slash, which really upset one of these people here.
Still not salty.
We also,
Enough time has passed.
we did press/push, and we did ring.
Yes.
So we have still 5 more. We have float, which is light, sustained in multiple directions.
Yes.
We have glide, which is light, sustained in one direction. We have dab, which is light, sudden, one direction. We have flick, which is light. So we haven't done any of the light ones. Light, sudden, and multiple directions. And lastly, punch, which is what Jamie wants to do to my face right now after stealing a song first.
One can say we've done all
Right now,
like a
or
lot of the heavy work.
This is on the Patreon.
I hear you.
I heard you, but
You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome.
all right. Cool. So we're going to start this time with Jamie because we haven't started with her yet.
Yay!
All right. Now to the great wheel of chicken nuggets. Let's see which Laban movement is chosen.
Hey!
Punch.
Okay.
Okay. So wait. We're going counter this time, right?
Yes.
We're going to, okay.
Yeah, we are.
All right. I'm concerned because I got a good one here. Let's see what happens. All right.
Final Fantasy 15. So it's not 7. It's not 10.
Okay.
I wanted to do 10, but Final Fantasy 15.
Sucks to suck.
The piece is called Festival de Chocobo.
Festival de Chocobo. So
You still got to do that.
Yeah, because thankfully there are so many Chocobo themes. It's like one of the things that, like, in every Final Fantasy game, you know there's going to be a Chocobo theme in there.
since 2. One didn't have it. Fun fact. Nerd fact. All right. I believe this is
I
it.
feel like there's been a lot of nerd facts. So,
Yeah.
Well, this is a new episode, so this is the first one.
I mean, yes.
Oh.
Okay. I see the punch. I feel the punches, but I do find there are lighter punches. That's the thing.
So?
I'm just stating facts here.
Be lighter punches.
Yeah.
I see
This
the
is
punch.
degree of heavy.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's another 3 against 1.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's wrong.
No. I agree though. They're light punches.
They're light punches. So
But there's still
There's
punches.
still punches.
And I still want to state, I forgot to mention at the top of the episode. So we're collecting these lists and we want you to help decide which list is the best to fit the Laban movement. So we'll up this on a Google form eventually. But I just mentioned that just so the listeners recognize that if you had that feeling that it was, I felt tickled, not punched. It's like, that might be it.
I'm not sure if we should encourage real punching in our classrooms.
Well, you're doing it by doing Laban movements, so.
So isn't it
Safety
better that
first.
they're lighter punches?
Or do we want them to feel the full emotion?
Ooh, it seems like you do.
I mean, right now.
No, I'm just
Take
happy.
it outside.
I like the choice. I definitely, in the very beginning, I was like, oh, punch. That's it.
I am just so happy I got to include a Chocobo theme in this game.
Nice.
I'm happy now.
Cool. All right, moving on to Jasmine. Jasmine, what is your punch option?
My punch is from Fire Emblem Three Houses. This is a YouTube one.
Oh, YouTube. Yeah, because Nintendo.
And the theme is called Battle.
Straightforward. Fire Emblem.
I wonder what they're gonna do in the
The Fire Emblem series is the best series.
How are they gonna fight?
It is
in this
really
battle?
good. Did you play the
Played them-
Tollgate one?
I played them all from like the first game on.
Oh, wow.
I guess Fire Emblem is one of those games that I'm not sure if I'll be interested in because it's one of those tactic
Yeah.
games, right? Yeah, that's not my thing.
But this one has
I like the hack and slashes.
but it has like,
So you're like Destiny, like Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah, well, not as far as Dynasty Warriors because that just gets redundant.
I'm with you.
It's,
Yeah.
it's hack and
But
slash though.
but also it does have the elements of like Persona 5, the social element, which is really nice.
Oh,
There
okay.
is like
specifically
a school thing.
houses.
Yeah, specifically that one. Yeah.
Yeah, but I also like the turn-based.
Well, it is turn based.
It is technically turn-based.
it's
it's
tactical.
turn-based.
It's tactical
Not
turn-based.
battle
Sorry.
theme. It's just battle. Like
Just
the
battle.
title is Battle.
Okay.
By the way, to those we want to scare all our people, so we're nerds. Uh oh.
It looks like
Yeah, I
Okay,
don't
nerds,
like
ready?
those.
One nerd's ready.
There's like a prep to it.
Yeah, you know when it's happening. Ooh, I want it to come again.
Almost feels like a combo.
See, and the other one, it goes like two. It's like a.
Nice. I like that one.
Like,
I actually that's a really good one. My only critique is if it's going to be used in a classroom, they would have to loop it. That's all.
Yep. But
Oh, shh, not that one. No. We're
but
done.
for me, it was like there's the weight. You
Yeah.
feel it. It's there.
Yeah.
I think of a
that's
punch. Like
heavy.
I can't think of that as a slash.
No, not at all.
That's like definitely like a haymaker kind of feel.
Yeah. Snaps. All right. Mine is from the game that's on every single platform nowadays. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Dragonborn. There you have it.
Yeah, I like it. It's very predictable with the punches. Yeah, especially in the beginning.
Felt like for some reason it brought the Mulan training scene to
Yeah, it did.
be a man.
Strength of a
that a
raging
punch?
fire.
Yeah. I feel like
Very on the
this
nose.
one, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty self-explanatory. No saltiness yet.
Yeah.
No dunking.
No dunking.
dunking.
No.
Yet.
Yeah.
Speaking of dunking, Genesis.
Too soon, man.
All right. So what do you have for punch?
All right. So mine is, I would say it was similar to Jamie's, where it's more like a jab rather than like a haymaker kind of feel, like the two of yours.
With the heavy
It's-
peeps.
Yes, apparently.
I'm seeing the trend here.
Yeah. It's gonna be
So
interesting for the next
mine
one.
is from a childhood favorite series. It's Megaman.
Okay. Which one?
This is Megaman 2. And it is the Dr. Wily Castle.
You know, I was thinking of listening to Mega Man stuff. I'm glad I didn't because you picked it. feel like you really need to watch these episodes.
Yes. Yeah.
We
yeah.
are doing so much movement.
Seriously.
I'm sweating right now.
If you're just listening to the podcast, maybe find some time to watch watch the videos, and you'll see how ridiculous we are.
Yeah, I mean, as I said last time, just stop the car.
Yeah,
Like,
the
stop the
topic
car.
is Laban movements.
So
You're gonna
move with us.
Yeah.
I am mixed about this one. I see where you're coming from, and first of all, I
Yes.
love the representation. I love that you're going back into like the catalog,
I
but
do hear the
I
jab.
told you
But
it's jabbed. It's jabby.
it's jabby, but also the long sustained notes afterwards. Not all of them, but like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm mixed.
It's the underlying thing for me because like that's a dun dun right going on there, and then there's a little bit of like in the actual melody where it's like dun dun dun. Right,
Yeah.
it's a little bit like it's like quick movement kind of thing.
There's some moments where you get those combos.
Yes, exactly.
Wombo combo.
Like that's why how like I always envision like punch is like there's like if there's like one there's usually one, but then there's something that follows up or something like it's more when you feel it like as a movement, it's more than just one thing.
Interesting. I get it. So you like so. Never mind. I was gonna say
For me, I agree though, but that's very directional, which I think
Yes.
that's what you need for punches.
Yeah.
Like, there's a direction you're going versus like a slash. You can go.
I would like to ask the listeners, where do you find the space between the heavy and the light? Where is it? Because like it's a punch or a dab, but it's not. It's too heavy
Oh,
for a dab. but
Yes,
it's
yeah,
light. So where? Like, so to the listeners, I'm curious. Where do you find that space? Where does it end and where does it begin between light and heavy? Email us chaoticharmonyclass@gmail.com. Let us know.
Get in the comments.
In the comments.
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome. So Jasmine, do you mind going over the recount? What did we choose for our punches?
All right, for punches, we started with Jamie on Final Fantasy 15 Festival de Chocobo.
The best one.
Then we went to Fire Emblem Three Houses Battle. We got to Elder Scrolls 5 Dragonborn. And
Skyrim. Just
Skyrim. Oh,
Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, just because more people know Skyrim by its name.
Direction.
It's coming, guys.
You.
Yeah.
No one's heard of Elder Scrolls 5. Everyone's heard of Skyrim.
that's true. Okay, Skyrim.
Just saying.
And then Mega Man 2 Dr. Wily Castle.
Awesome.
Yes.
And also to those who decided just to join us here instead of listening to the last episode or may have forgotten, once you've chosen a song from a certain game, not franchise, but certain game, no one can choose a song from that game. That's why we get a little bit of a certain chloride on some people's taste buds right now. There's a little saltiness going on.
Yes, in that direction.
I don't know who you're talking about.
All right. So we're now going to go and we're going to start with Jasmine and we're going to go to the great wheel in the sky to determine which one.
Take out punch.
Yeah.
Moving punch. We only have 4 left.
We have float. Float, glide, dab, and flick left.
Let's see what it hits. So we can hear that.
Okay.
Glide. This was my first choice. When I thought of like all this, glide was the first one that came to mind. I'm curious,
All right,
Jasmine, what are you going to choose?
my glide. It's called Ashes to Ashes from the game Eternal Darkness.
Okay. Still going with that dark and heavy theme.
Wow, yeah.
It's supposed to be a light topic.
Sorry. With this game, though, like, I didn't know it was made by Nintendo.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Probably on YouTube then.
It's a really crazy game, though.
I haven't heard of this game.
Like, it's a Nintendo game, but it was like psychological horror.
What?
What's it called?
And
What's
this
the
is
game called?
Nintendo?
Eternal Darkness.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I think this is published, not made by, not developed.
It wasn't published by.
I think
Okay.
So,
Oh.
correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. There's no chat going on right now.
And you want to start at 20 seconds for this.
Ooh, we got a timestamp here. 20 seconds.
Yeah. Most of these have been starting from the beginning. It just makes it easier for some of us.
Yeah, in the beginning, it's just a bunch of helicopter sounds. So I don't think that's going to give me the nice glide feeling I'm going for.
I mean, do we know if the helicopter is moving or if it's like, you know? Thank you, Jamie. And the one listener that like laughed at my jokes. Thank you.
If you liked Genesis jokes, you can at him at Mr. Santos.
I could explain why I chose it while we...
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
So I went with this one because for me, when I think of glide, I think of consistency. Like when you glide rather than you float, when I think of float, you're bobbing up back to the surface.
That
Whereas
sustain.
with gliding, you're kind of
Yes.
sliding down. And there's this constant theme going on with this piece.
And that's part of the thing that's important about these movement ideas, right? We're putting these labels on them to give us that image. And in this case, you're giving us that image of sliding.
Yeah, like I think of it as like you're gliding down from a place, like you're descending.
I like. It's going to be interesting where the students land on, because it's definitely a dab, but it's also a glide. Like that.
See, for me, that's why I was like, it just stays same the whole time, and then you
Yes,
hear those vocals to follow that gliding direction.
Yeah.
I see the glide came in for me when the vocals came in. But before that, my brain was like, this is very press.
It's interesting you correlate like low with
It's like
press.
there's this heavy, like that low heavy press like feeling for me. I think it's also the tonality too of being like in like the minor mode. Like press just for me feels like, you know, you're
Well, the tension and the
tension
dissonance that
in the
comes
air.
with that.
So that's where my brain was going with that.
See, for me, I was like, because it's so repetitive, like the only thing I could think of is like you're just moving consistently.
And then when you explained that earlier, that's what I got. Like, I was like, okay, I'm seeing that.
And then especially when the vocals come in, that's where I felt like you get that direction of like, oh, this is where I can move. But before I'm just like, I'm just descending. I'm not moving much.
Cool. I like it.
Like it.
Dope. Jamie.
For
Glide.
Haha. Tetris.
Tetris
theme.
Tetris theme. Okay.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
And it's the glide, in my opinion, I'm not talking about the very beginning. I'm talking about a little after that. You'll see.
You want us to go a certain area?
No, let's just start from the beginning because you'll hear it very soon.
Jasmine, I'll hit this one up. I can do the Spotify ones, but like I feel like for YouTube, I'm not sure which.
Yeah, it should be that first one.
The first one? Okay, let's do it on mine.
Yeah. Wait for it. It's coming up.
Let her cook.
There we go. I actually had this both down as dab and glide.
I hear more dabs here.
Well, yeah, I said wait for it. I said not the beginning. I still wanted us to hear the beginning.
That's fair. That's fair.
Fair. It does have glide. Like technically it does.
Yeah.
It's that attack though. I feel like that makes it feel even the long notes. Bum, bum, it still has that little dab attack.
But like in my head.
It's a button.
That's why I honestly, this is why I stay away from a lot of classic tunes because of unless I wanted to hit dab. But I hear them.
It has glide.
It has glide.
That's what I can't fault it.
Yeah.
It does have glide.
But
You're primarily thinking of it as a dab too.
yes, like that's where I'm
It
siding
does
with.
have-
Like, this time I have to side with
Yes,
Sean.
that's why I put it as both.
But it's under glide.
But it's your glide.
Glide.
Just that section of the song of the piece.
You're gonna have students interact only with that part?
No.
Don't do anything. Stop. Don't do anything. All right. It's the best part.
Now go glide.
Glide now. Glide now. Wait for it.
Let's cook. We're done gliding.
This group do dab. This group, no, not that dab. Do the other dab. And the other group do glide. Get your scarves out.
I mean, if you can make it work, you can make it work.
See?
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right.
But you can't deny there is glide.
There
Yes,
is
you can.
glide.
Yes, there is, and that's what hurts me.
Which is
just gonna-
exactly why I picked this.
I'm just gonna
Why
neglect.
is this hurting me so much? Out of the four of us here,
No, Genesis, you want dunk it.
Don't good.
This is exactly
Want to call it that, but there is glide in there.
All right. The only thing is like,
Go for it.
who listens to this section of Tetris? Like, yeah, you are agreeing with me, yes?
We are.
Who agrees? Who listens to this? Everyone sing. When you hear Tetris, everyone goes da 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 da. No one goes da. No one does that.
The B section is nobody. Also,
Well, you can't deny there is a B section. That's part of music. That's part of teaching form.
That is correct.
listeners, you will decide
This hurts me so much. Okay.
chunk or dunk. Your call. All right, Genesis, on to you, and on to you, Genesis.
Okay. Mine is from Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight. I was listening to that for some ideas.
Hollow Knight, great game. If you haven't played it,
Haven't finished.
I actually never finished it either.
Beat it.
I'm really sad that I haven't. I've watched people speedrun
So
this.
this is a trash game because we never finished it. So.
Yes. No. It's called Enter Hollownest.
All right, here we go. Good choice. Good choice. It did jump into the dab section at the
bit,
section
yeah.
part, but like it definitely is glide in the opening.
Yeah. You feel it. Like I love how the strings just like continues that throughout. Like yes, there's the glide, not the dab interruptions.
Yes,
is like
yeah.
as I hear it.
But you still continuously hear that glide going throughout the whole
It's
piece.
going through, like you can't deny, like it's there and it goes throughout the whole thing. Because it goes throughout the whole thing, Jamie. You don't have to wait for it.
It's there.
It's called delayed gratification.
We're
Ooh.
gonna move. Let's just mute Jamie's mic right now.
We all agree, right? It's just wrong.
No one listens to B section.
But you can't deny there is one, and it is glide.
It's glide.
Yes.
I can't believe this is the hill you're going to die on.
All right.
I love it.
I am going to.
I thought I was going to be controversial, but no.
So I'm gonna pull a piece that's one of my favorite games of all time.
Okay.
But because Genesis keeps on talking about the low end being press, I'm gonna ask if we move a little bit further in the song. This is from this is called Nascence from the game Journey by Austin Wintory.
Oh.
Okay.
I don't think I know this one.
I don't know this one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
There we have it.
Nice.
Very nice. No flack. No
For
dunk.
me, I see float.
I agree.
For
I do
me,
see
it's
second
mainly
well.
because I feel like the little bobs. Because when I think of float versus glide, I see glide as something very continuous. You're in one full movement going.
And you're
the whole
moving
time,
towards something.
and you continuously moving towards.
I felt like I was like standing and watching, like I was in air. Like I did felt like I was in air in that. Like I was very up above the clouds.
The light was there, like
Yeah.
the light feeling, but the direction was not.
So my thing is, it for me, the line is continuous. For me, even though it stops and goes,
Yes.
that's what yes, it is very suspension in the. I should speak more in the microphone. Even though it's very suspension into the air, it is still one continuous line. It goes from from the beginning to the end over a span of many measures. Not
Yes.
So
I do
see
see
your
both.
statement though. I see your statement though.
Yeah, I do see both. There are times where it was in the cello, especially very directional, but then with the violins, when it was getting high up there, then it was floating more.
That's where the wind picks you up in the glider.
See, but that's when you float.
Oh,
Ah,
disagree. It pulls you up. It's the updraft.
you're floating
Yeah, but you're
on
not
the
moving.
glider.
The gliding and updraft. That's all part of the
When
gliding.
I think of the glide, there's a foundation there where I'm going to land, or I'm moving towards something. Whereas the
Yeah.
float, I am in space.
Let's
I
get
don't
math
know.
nerdy here.
Ooh.
This is going up. This is going
Agree,
up.
but continue.
This
Yes.
is going up the
Y-axis?
Y-axis,
Yeah.
right? Floating's in the Y-axis, right? When we go do glide, there's that X-axis that's coming in. Now there's that dimension, like you're going
But,
towards.
so are you stating that a glide is only from, it starts at the high point and it only goes down?
No, I don't
the
think
end of the
so. I
phrase?
think you can go.
Well, for me,
it does need to
glide
go somewhere.
Is direct.
at least
like
it
there's
goes
a
somewhere.
direction.
Ooh, it does. Oh,
As a
That's what
float.
I love about the line. It does go. There is a direction.
There's a go.
Direction.
Float doesn't feel like it goes anywhere.
Like when I'm thinking of the pieces that we picked, there's still a direction. Like we were still going somewhere.
I
There's
think
like a direction.
maybe we should have listened the whole piece then, guys.
Maybe we should start.
I think the thing is, you mentioned the strings. We ended it before it reached the end of the phrase. It's just it suspends multiple times until it reached that end. But again, art's interpretive, music's
Yes,
interpretive.
it is.
So
Yeah.
I get you. You're wrong. but
No,
I get
you're
ya.
no.
Ooh. I guess there is dunking
Get
in this one.
in the comments.
There we have it. There we have it. So Jasmine, can you please reiterate for us what were the glides?
So for Glide, we had Genesis introducing Hollow Knight, Enter Hollownest. Jamie, Tetris.
Yeah.
Tetris theme. I introduced Eternal Darkness, Ashes to Ashes. And John, you introduced Austin Wintory Journey.
Nascence.
Nascence.
Yeah. All right. So now we're going to start with Genesis and bring the great wheel in the sky. And the wheel is spinning, spinning, spinning. And we're on Dab. Genesis, what do you have for us on Dab?
Let's see. I am going to go with Kingdom Hearts. This is Kingdom Hearts, not Kingdom Hearts 2.
All right.
And if you're watching this and you didn't see the first part,
Go check that out.
go check that out because I chose Kingdom Hearts 2. Traverse Town.
Nice. Lovely melody. I never got to this melody because it was all dark and gloomy. It never unlocked the nice part of Traverse Town.
So the interesting reason why I chose this for me is not necessarily like what I'm feeling like as far as like melody or like hearing, but like so Laban for me is very in my like conducting.
Oh, interesting.
So there is a sense of dab through it, but when like I'm conducting this, I'm feeling dab the whole entire time.
Ictus every day, right?
Yeah, and that was how I was introduced to Laban movements through
Yeah.
conducting class.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was
So-
the first time I heard about it.
Yeah.
So I'm coming to the same framework.
Yeah, so usually what actually happens in my brain first is how am I conducting it? Mm-hmm. And then after I conduct it, how am I going to move to it?
That's fair.
And so that's where my brain always goes. But that one, I know for me, it was like very much conducting dab. And I was like, and then that influences my movement.
Sure.
After that.
Yeah. Even though you have that long sonorous line with the saxophone or faux saxophone,
Yeah.
like
the underlying beat, the feel is dab
going through.
I never thought of that. Like, I think it's because for me, Laban was only introduced to me during my levels.
Yeah.
Like, other than that, like, I've never had any previous experience or even heard of it. So, like, to think about it through conducting, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so I
think
guess
about that way.
When did you first hear about Laban movement?
Once you started mentioning conducting, I do remember a little bit, but it was really ingrained with me when I started doing movement in Orf. And so I definitely see the conducting element for sure. But yeah, for me, I'm looking for a full body experience.
Yeah.
And that line really throws me off. But in the end, it really is a dab in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
Who's next again?
We're going this way. So you're next.
Yay! Haha.
You have what, Jamie? What do you have?
What do you have, Jamie?
What do you have, Jamie?
What is it?
What is it?
What is gonna get a reaction out of me?
Guys, it's in Rondo, but it's the C section. We're gonna hear it once, but it's the C section, okay?
You just gotta wait a little bit.
Let it cook.
Let it cook. Super Mario theme song.
What's that? Never heard of that again.
You must be
By
living
Koji
under a rock.
Kondo. Cool. This is from the OG, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We have a lot more classic games, which I'm glad for the representation.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. And ready? So why do you think that's dab? I don't get
Defend
it.
yourself.
Defend it. So honestly, when you mentioned in our group chat, like that dab was the hardest, like so much 8-bit is like.
Yeah.
That's why I'm talking. Where we're coming from.
Yeah. So
When I was listening to like most of this stuff, I was like, oh, if we pick any of these game songs from this generation, it's mostly going to be dab. Because of it's literally a button.
It wasn't until 16-bit era you had like more polls, but
Yeah. So this was pretty easy.
yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
No controversy here.
Yeah.
I see nothing wrong with
this
it.
time.
And you know what? It's nice because the dab was not just in the C section or the D section. It was also in the beginning.
You know, it's nice when it starts it that way.
No,
right?
it's so nice.
You know, where you don't have to wait for so long.
If I had started with a timestamp, would we be getting all this dunkiness and
Still, I would still tell you that
Donkeys in this?
Tetris does not. No one. Listening to the Tetris
You know what?
theme for
We're-
the B section.
We're dunking on Jamie so much that we're gonna get a lot of people voting for Tetris just for the sake of leave Jamie alone.
also,
Gotta back off.
this is how I bring the fun. Isn't this more entertaining now?
Jasmine, what do you have for us?
Mine is from Detroit Become Human,
Ooh, I never played that game.
Oh, I have. Wow.
and it's called Little One.
Interesting fact, I've never played any game by, what's the guy's name again that made all these games?
I don't know.
Forget his name.
I don't know either.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But I have played this game.
Okay.
It was interesting.
Okay, ready? Yeah, that's good. It's
Just,
to where
like,
talks
it's
again.
gentle. There's a release.
Yeah.
And there's, like I said before, like for me, dabbing is like finger painting where you're going to smear a little bit. So there's like that.
You'll have that residue. Yeah.
You definitely feel that. There's definitely the intention and then the release at the end.
Because like this theme pops up a lot within the game, but it comes from so many different, like, this is the one that's like, it's just purely the piano, which I feel like is very easy for like children to listen to. Like it's, it's there.
I did hear some flicks, but there was definitely dabs. Yeah, more dabbing.
What was the dab piece introduced? What was that piece introduced to you in Orf levels by your teacher? Do you remember?
Oh, let me tell you this, that in my first 2 years of levels, we actually did not study Laban.
Fascinating. Okay. How about you, Jamie?
I feel like it was in level 1 with Krista Coogan. She definitely had it in we definitely went over it in one of the sessions.
Okay. In Jasmine. Oh, you had the
Pretty
same
much the
teacher,
same.
wasn't it?
Yeah, we had the same teacher.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I will say that one of my movement teachers is in my head right now, and I'm looking at all of you, and I'm gonna say it. If we're gonna move into next time, I'm challenging you to not use your hands.
I did elbow.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm seeing a lot of hands.
No, that's very valid. Yep.
Well, also,
I challenge my students for that all the time. Laura, you live in my brain.
it's kind of hard to not use our hands
Yeah, that's
when we're
the
sitting here holding all
down
this
holding my-
equipment.
Yes, this is a microphone, but like, you know,
Yeah.
No.
I'm like switching. I'm using my head.
Typing at the
I'll use
same
my tongue.
Try it.
So dab, I had 3 options.
Ooh.
I'm surprised no one has chosen Breath of the Wild yet, because that was like full on the pianistic elements.
Yeah, I was. It's similar to Final Fantasy. I was trying not to pick too many from Zelda.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. However, oddly enough, the one I have for dab is on the 3rd option. So the one I have actually is by this artist named Theophany. It's on the game Kina, Bridge of Spirits.
Oh yeah, you recommended that game to me.
That game is ridiculously hard at the end for a game that looks like a kid's game.
Really?
Yeah, it's called. So the song is called Beneath Worlds, and yeah, we'll see how y'all feel on this one. Go over 1 click, please. Pause. Sorry, I might have chosen the wrong song.
You could still choose Breath of the Wild if you wanted to.
This wasn't. I wanted this one though. Let me just make sure I have the right song. It's the 2nd track of it. Just keep on going. My apologies. Can you go 2 clicks ahead? I'm so sorry, guys. This is... Okay, just go back 2 clicks. Sorry. All right.
I don't know what's worse. Jamie's B section. Or us taking it, searching for it. Because I am hearing it like in the what sounds like what is it? Like the celesting sounds. It's like it's there. Is that not what you're looking for?
It is. I don't know why I think I had 2 songs in mind by Kina.
Okay.
I had a debate between 2. But
Oh, so
the
you
less
might-
driven one. That's all.
Okay. Because that's where I'm. If we're searching for dab in here, that's where I'm feeling it.
Yes. I just remember more percussion. That's all. Okay. Well, that's disappointing.
Really? Because
Well, I
sounded
felt
good.
the dab.
No, and I felt it.
though.
Okay.
Like they were yes on the quieter side, but they were there and they were present.
Yeah.
It was.
Are you? This is funny how you're giving me the.
We're trying to help you out.
You did good. Okay.
Good job.
Stop crying. That's all right.
No, I feel like.
A for effort.
No, I feel like it's sometimes we have one way of thinking about dab or any of these movements, but there are different ways. It still counts as dab because of the efforts in the attack and the sustain and everything. Even though it's more of a clanging sound, it's still a dab.
There's subtlety, right?
Yes.
To it. Like it only describes the movement as a whole, but there's details and subtleties that happen.
Saplings.
It was
It was saplings.
Oh, it was a
You want-
different.
That
Okay.
one instead.
Ah, okay. So we were just
Just
trying
commenting on something might be
it
good.
was trash.
I did not feel dab. It was floating.
It was definitely floating a
It
whole.
was too metallic.
Well, you'll get a similar feel, but it was more of it.
Oh.
These last hands.
Hands, fingers.
So there we go.
For that, I felt more flick. especially with the brrr.
Yeah, that part I agree. But John mentioned before, like how he feels it in the attack, and when you comment from his brain on that it does feel a bit more dabby in that sense.
Yeah, for me it was the timbre. Like the moment it was like doo, doo,
Yeah, I think that kind of got
it
in
made
the
it
way.
feel short.
Yeah.
And then I hear the brrr, and then for me that's like
The
a
rattling.
flick, or like a rattle.
Yeah.
Which I think of as like many flicks within the body.
What is what is a flick if not multiple dabs? I mean, I know Genesis hit it. It's wholeheartedly for me. It's the attack, and so flick is Persona 5 is flick for me, and so it's it's like more like lightness almost. Yeah. Like the flutter definitely raised my eyebrow, but it felt too hard not to choose this as dab. But that's my take.
Okay.
This is closer than
And then the other one.
This is what?
this is closer than the other one.
Yeah, I felt the other
Dabbing.
one was closer for dabbing.
Really?
I felt the dab. Than
Interesting.
those ones. Like it was for me. I think of the dab as something gentle. Like there's a gentle
Interesting.
touch. Like it's fast, but it's gentle. Where if I hear that separation, I think of a flick because you flick and then you're done.
Yeah, I
Whereas
agree
a
with
dab,
that.
I'm smearing. I'm pressing onto something. I'm putting some pressure there.
Yeah.
I see. I see
Yeah.
that.
Well,
Yeah.
listeners, it's up to you. So, all right, cool. So that's the dab, and now we're gonna start with me for this one. So Jasmine, hit us up. What are
All right. For our dab choices, Genesis went with Kingdom Hearts, Traverse Town.
There's one.
Yes, Kingdom Hearts,
Kingdom Hearts
1.
1, Traverse Town. Jamie went with Super Mario Bros.
Yeah.
The original theme. I went with Detroit Become Human, Little One. And John, you went with Kina, Bridge of Spirits, Beneath Worlds / Saplings.
We'll do saplings because you have to choose one. Just
Okay,
yeah,
sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm sticking with that one. All right, now starting with me, we have two more flick and floats,
All right.
and it's spinning, and we're gonna do ooh, it's flick.
Oh wow, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I had three options for this one, but I'll just stick with.
Add a couple options, but
okay.
some of the games were taken.
I'm going to do the song is called A Proper Story. The game is Bastion by Darren Korb.
Yeah.
And so if you're not familiar with Bastion, it's the same studio that did Hades, which was really big. But Darren Korb is one of the rare
Almost same
people.
play style, really.
Oh.
Just like a different skin.
I did not see. I don't know this game or either of those games.
Very interesting story.
Not sure if I really heard flicks.
It's in the beat. I'm actually more so in for back to y'all with your time with the conducting. It's the beat. It's very much a flick.
It's light,
feel.
yeah.
It's light.
If you're thinking beat wise, but it's not present in what you hear in like the actual like
Instrumentation.
Like if you're thinking instrumentation, it's very like there's a heaviness to it.
Yeah.
But I was like thinking, yeah,
Heavy but light on the feet. That's the thing. For me, it's similar to Persona. It's light on the feet. It's not like grounded. It's heavy, but not grounded.
interesting.
Yeah, I could see it.
Okay, where are you going at, Jamie?
Dunk me.
Well, I mean, if that's what you're going for, then I don't know. I think maybe
being
I'd
too
have to
nice.
listen to it again. But like, if the idea is to present this to our students, then I don't think it was that obvious to me, the flicks. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you're really trying to get them to like really listen, then this is kind of like older elementary, I guess, for them
It's
to
also
really
like
try
if
to
you're
hear.
just having them feel the beat, they'll feel
Yeah.
that quickness to it. It's just harder if you're like, if you were just to tell them like, listen to this, that wouldn't, I think, be their first instinct.
Yeah. And
Well, you never just tell them to listen. You tell them to interact with it. So
if they were
in
to
doing
interact.
with it, they will do the flick. But I get where you're coming from for sure.
I guess I was too distracted by all the strings and the guitar. It was like it was too heavy for me to be a flick.
I guess back to what Jasmine and I have been using, very heavy pieces.
Yeah.
This is much more on the lighter end. So comparative to the pieces that we've used.
Yeah.
I don't want to, consume Jasmine to this, and but we have been doing.
Oh, you're on an island.
I'm all the heavy pieces.
Yes.
No, mine was pretty heavy. To forgive or to kill.
That was the extra. That was on the heavy end.
All
Sure.
the darkness.
Now, would you ever tell
colossi.
your students that's the name of this song?
I'm looking at you, Jamie.
Would you tell your?
I mean, look, a lot of our students
Give her the one.
are watching Deadpool and things. I think they can handle a title like To Forgive or To Kill from God of War.
Is this from God of War, guys? I mean, same thing with Persona 5. There's a lot of
There's a lot.
Anyways,
So what we're trying to get at is use discretion.
use discretion.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why it's safer to go the route of Tetris or
Next, Jasmine, what do you have for us?
So mine's from a game called Sidorica.
I don't know. This one.
This is a gotcha game.
Oh, that's why.
This is the first gotcha game I played, and then I went to Genshin. And
This we were talking earlier about make sure your kids don't do things. Don't have them on gotcha games. Are they spending real
How
money?
many gotcha games did you put on your list?
Can we explain what a gotcha game
Jasmine,
is
can you?
to
Yes,
people?
as the person who has the many on their list.
Yes.
The gotcha. What? Genshin's a gotcha.
Genshin is gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
Genshin's gotcha, but you
but
got
you're playing
this is what now
3.
number 3?
Yeah, the third.
Well, no, it's the third mentioned, I think.
Yeah.
Third mentions, but I only mentioned Wuwa.
You mentioned 2, but
Okay.
but
a
you
gotcha
do
game
play
is
Genshin.
Yes, she
a
does.
game where in order to receive characters or items that you need to progress throughout the game, you have to do gotchas or they're like little raffles.
Yes.
Yeah, kind
You
of.
end
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
picking or doing draws to hopefully get the character that you want.
Drop
And
the
if you
ball.
want to get more raffles, then you have
can
to
pay
pay
money.
money.
Pay your damn money.
So
There's
gotcha.
ways to do it
Gotcha
for
money.
free.
And there's
Yes.
ways to listen
grind.
to it. So what do we got here?
So this is called Mirage.
Mirage. Interesting.
I went with all the flicks.
Yeah,
I hear dabs.
But if in the beginning, I don't think you can hear it, but there's these clicking noises in the beginning.
Okay, I didn't hear that.
I heard that.
But the clicking is also what I thought of as flicks. It was like. So then when you hear the clicking, I also think of flicks.
I hear dab and press.
I hear flicks because I hear the little thing that is it back there, and I feel that as flicky. There's an underlying. It's either
an underlying
a
press.
there's an underlying press. So
Yeah.
that's there, and it's depending on which part of your ear you're gravitating to, it's yes and.
What do you mean by yes and?
This one is a very yes and. It's both.
Yeah.
If you
Press.
hear the layer of
Things.
flicks
Sure.
under the layer of press.
But I don't hear the flicks.
You get
I
to-
hear them
you-
dabs. That's
Can
the
you
funny
turn it?
thing.
Wait, can you turn it
Yeah,
up?
sure.
There's,
Yeah.
some
Let's
clicks.
go back.
Turn that up. Turn that beat.
In the beginning, there's a bunch of clicks.
All right, hit me up.
Yeah, do you hear that?
But I hear two main things. The second thing is the dabs.
And that's the choose your own. It's for me, it's choose your own adventure.
So is it you're saying dab or flick? Is that what it is?
no, I'm saying you can choose.
Do you not hear the dabs?
No, I don't.
I hear flicks.
I hear flicks.
Yeah, I don't.
It's
It's
faster.
flicky. It's too fast to be a dab.
It is too
Oh,
fast.
you grab a
to be
paintbrush. That is easy dabs.
There are no smearing though.
Yeah, because
Smears.
That's what I see in dabs. There's no smearing in
Oh. But that then goes back
It's
to
just
the dab
so
with the
quick.
whole Mario theme. That's the stop. It's staccato.
no.
Very,
Well, with that one, there's ba 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 ba.
so it's
yeah, that's
slower,
still-
sure. But as far as bleed goes,
But there's still that.
There's a definitely
slight
longer bleed in
duration.
Mario.
Yeah.
Versus the Solaria.
So for you,
This
you're
is a
defining
very short.
flick as in something that a dab cannot do on its own. You're saying it has to be the quickness is what makes the flick versus a dab.
Yeah.
So the time. Yeah, it's. I mean.
Yeah.
Well, for me in this, I just hear the separation, and then in
Yeah.
addition to hearing the,
If anything, flick because it goes everywhere. The smearing should be more intentional with.
Because that's how I feel.
You're thinking of it more like a spray kind of thing. Like you take the bristles of the paintbrush and you're doing this.
I'm doing stipple art. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I hear with this.
See, I feel like I'm like jabbing a pencil in my paper. I'm like, tick, 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 tick.
Yeah.
And that's a flick to me.
I feel like
And then a dab is like,
it's between for me because when I
Is Jamie coming to my defense? What? Partially?
it's not a dab.
How many factions have you like made
Not a dab.
in the middle of this?
been pretty
I'm pretty sure someone has like changed like how many times have like John and Genesis have sided together? How many times?
So it's not a dab, but
It's not a dab, but when I first heard that part, I was like, okay, it's technically a flick, but it doesn't feel like a flick to me.
so what does it feel like then if it's not a flick or a dab?
I feel like it's in between.
see, that's where we get into that whole like.
Where is
gray
the
area.
liminal- yeah, what
The gray area. How big
Gray
is the
area
gray area?
for me. Yeah.
Okay, well, fascinating.
Yeah. So logically, it is a flick, but
Ooh.
yeah.
Technically, it's the best kind of right? Technically correct.
Technically, it's a
It can be
dab.
seen as a flick with a push underneath.
I feel like it was too.
Because the sustain that I hear, and I feel like the push underneath emphasizes the flick. Because you feel this long thing going on under, and you're hearing, which makes it seem more separated than the.
I think you just need to work on your
I feel
paintbrush
like
better.
with
That's all.
flick, there's a feeling of like release.
Right.
When I think and imagine flick. But when I was listening to that, it didn't feel like it was a release. It was more like jab.
A dab.
It wasn't. See, this is the part
dab.
where it's like
So it's
in
a punch.
between. Huh?
Jab. Is it a punch?
No way is a punch.
No, more like stabbing.
stabbing, like
when you're talking about
having
the pencil,
a pencil
like
and
stab,
making
stab, stab,
little stipple art, like a dab.
stab. It's a stab. It's between a flick and a dab.
You're Mr.
Stab.
Rudolph Laban. You're wrong. There's stabs as well, apparently.
Apparently.
Slash, punch, and stab.
So wait, okay. Just for funsies, it is sudden. Yes. Yes.
Shorts.
Sudden shorts. Yes.
Okay, can we? I'll bring up the technical.
One direction or multiple directions?
It is
Indirect, quick, light, and free.
Is it indirect or is it direct?
It felt direct.
Like a
For
dab.
me, I felt like it was like just randomly.
No, this is why I'm saying
but
it's
now
a,
you're
it's
thinking
a
the
gray
texture
area.
versus the notational element. Because I think that's where you're coming from. Like the notational element, it is more of flicking on the page. But as far as the actual attack, it is a dab. That's what I'm saying.
the subjective
Yeah.
definitions between.
No, I'm in between you two. I'm not siding with one or the other.
Jamie just doesn't like me. That's all. So
Oh man.
Yeah, that's why I want to punch you.
on record, y'all.
On it's literally recorded.
Speaking of on record, Jamie, what's your dab?
Oh yeah. Wait, I thought we already did my dab.
What's your dab? Sorry.
Your flick. Oh, flick.
Yeah, what's your
oh, okay. Yeah, flick.
I was so engrossed in this being a dab.
But it's a flick.
Zelda.
Which one?
Actually, it's this it's just this album by L'Orchestre Cinématique.
Ooh, so
It is from a game, and
Yeah,
technically it's
we
from
didn't
title.
give me we didn't give me
What's the
rules.
title?
What's it? Yeah, what game is attached to at least?
Great Fairy's Fountain.
Okay, so
But that's in multiple.
that's in multiple.
Zelda.
This is a gray area which we did not establish. That's okay. I'll allow it as the commissioner. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay.
because
Which one do you want it to be from?
Which one do you most associate the Great Fairy Fountain to?
That's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
with Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll go with that. Is it the
She took my backup, which is good.
epic version by
I have my critiques about the orchestral versions of this stuff, but we'll this later.
I'll stop using my hands.
I feel like that's a dab.
I'm with you there.
See, but that's where I'm like,
But also, I see that we're doing the micro beats while Jamie's doing the macro
There's
beats.
the macro. It's like it depends on how you feel it, because macro, it's very flicky.
yes.
Yeah.
It is.
But the micro is very
Is
Very.
Yeah.
It's like it's both.
And yet.
Yes, and.
And yet,
Yes,
Jasmine.
and.
Yes,
Again,
and.
this is even like a better version of choose your own adventure, because now you get to decide which one is actually is.
And there's
for you.
also that underlying part of the glide.
Sure. Yeah, I agree with you there. It's just how we see the
Yeah.
arpeggiated elements.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
Genesis, how about you? What was your flick?
My flick is coming from a series that I'm surprised has not been in this conversation sooner. It's from Pokemon.
Ah.
And this is from the classic. If you're from the US, it's red and blue. If you're from anywhere else, it's red and green. This is the bicycle theme.
Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, I'm kind of surprised that we didn't bring it up sooner. Yeah.
Again, I always felt like the instrumentation of a lot of them up till X and Y, like it's just limited. But yeah, okay, hit it. Lovely.
Yes, and.
yes, and
I still just can't believe that bicycle cost that much money.
I know, right? You need a voucher.
so much for a voucher.
Pokemon,
So much
Pokemon
effort.
world is very anti-car, anti-bicycle. Just walk in the foot.
Just gotta walk and
I'll walk in the grass.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah, flick. Yeah, and I could, as I
A
mentioned
lot of
earlier,
dabs.
There's some dabbing.
I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
dabs in there.
Yeah, it was. I felt like.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And
And when you listen to it, then again, this is one of those ones where I felt it conductorally.
Yes.
If that's a word.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah.
Sure.
And I felt it that way. There's elements of flick, but then if you listen to, there's elements of dab too. So
Okay.
So yes, and.
yes, and
All right.
All right, Jasmine,
Going over
hit us
our
up.
dab.
What did we do for flicks?
All right. Genesis, Pokemon Red and Blue, bicycle theme. Jamie, Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Great Fairy Fountain. Me, Sidorica, Mirage. John, Bastion, A Proper Story.
Cool. All right, we only have one more left, and who has only gone once? Who's only led once?
Jasmine
Okay.
or Jamie.
I think I did mine accidentally twice.
I
Both of
haven't.
them, so-
I've only started once. Ghost of Tsushima.
Ooh.
Another dark one.
Okay.
And a lot of it's another hack and slash one, but I didn't find a lot of slash. There's when you listen to the album, it's more there's a lot of punches and floats.
Okay.
I feel like.
And what's the title?
I chose there are a couple, but I chose Forgotten Song. Yeah, I mean, you could also
I
interpret
heard
it.
slashes. I'm just kidding.
I was like, whoa. Another yes and?
Yes, another yes and
No, and
there was definitely elements of press and glide, but I definitely heard overarchingly float.
Well, I agree because there is this,
especially
element,
with the vocals.
When you listen to the vocals and in the direction going up, like you did feel like that rise.
Okay.
In the strings too.
Definitely
There's
float.
that weightlessness.
Cool. Jasmine.
All right. Mine is from The Last Guardian.
Oh,
Same.
Eco. Yeah.
So Eco, Shadow Colossus, Last Guardian.
Rest
same.
in peace.
They're all really good games.
You know, the company is no longer.
Yeah, I tried getting one from each, but I couldn't find one from Ico. that
I hear
really
good
liked.
things about these games. They look a little, I don't know, maybe too dark or too intense for me to play.
It's worth.
They
I can
really
only
make
speak-
you question yourself.
I can only speak for Shadow Colossus. I've not finished Last Guardian, but
All three of them make me question myself. Like I was like, I'm questioning my choices.
Yeah.
but we don't need to do that for our kids because our kids. We're just gonna listen to music. So, which piece is it called again?
This is called Overture. Lore.
Like that. Like that a lot. Who's the composer? I don't know. No, we can put in post. It's fine. Yeah.
Is this going to be the one that's the least controversial float?
Maybe. I
Yeah.
will say that for this one, for me, because of like the choice in the modality that it's in, like in the mode, it feels like there's an element of press to it. There's weight.
But then are
But
we
it's
only
not- but it's
relegating?
not-
For me, when I think of that, the float, that's why you're like bobbing up and down.
Yeah.
Like, there's a little bit of weight pulling you down, but you're back up. in the air.
Yeah, I will say like that's 80% of it. Like the float is there and it's those thing, but there's this undertone of that, like there's
That
this
dark
silver lining
undertone
of
of
dark
something, like,
undertone of pressing
pulling.
down too. So like
It's gravity.
it's
you know?
the gravity and the float. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same
In
thing.
my brain, it's like I'm hearing press and float at the same time.
Yeah.
When I think on the chart, they're polar opposites, aren't they?
Press and yeah, there are.
I think it helps because
yeah.
it was similar in Forgotten Song where there was that element of pressing underneath that like, how can you compare two things unless you have something to compare it with?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's giving the emphasis of something else. Like that's when you were like the difference I think with glide. Where glide, I'm like, okay, there's a direction. If there's press, that helps it give it that direction. Sorry, thank you. But also with float, it's like it's kind of pulling you down, but then it always goes back up.
Yeah.
And I similar to what Jamie is sharing, like you need that opposite too. Like a lot of like which is the biggest issue I have with a lot of the examples that are given to me, that they are very much a monoculture. They're very much one thing, but that opposite was what makes the music interesting itself.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I and also I don't want like all float just to be in a positive color or like a major color either.
I agree too. Like I think that's what makes this interesting is that it's like
The heaviness.
it's the heaviness and like it is float, but it's not like the idea of float.
Well, because I think float gives the feeling of like elation. Like you're really happy. You're like, oh, I'm up in the air. But
Also,
I think it also gives like, okay, I'm
fashion also.
well.
I think
that
the
numbing, like I was like that kind
numbness,
of cloudy
yeah,
numbness
yes.
feeling is what float
Like
also
the weightlessness.
provides.
There's something freeing about that. And I think having that press there was just an interesting take that there's this thing pulling you down, even though it does feel majority float.
But I think that's also like the reminder that you're floating.
Yeah.
That's how I like to think of it. Is like this
Tethered
weight
I love that.
reminds you that you're being pulled down a little bit so that you can continue kind of bobbing. Because when I think of floating, you're in the water. You're bobbing up and down. You're never. Sometimes it'll drag you down a little bit, but you always bob back up.
Okay.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say that floating is always about that elation or positivity or happiness, because like if you know the story of Ghost of Tsushima, it's super depressing. Yeah, it's like sad and lots of awful like stories. I mean, it's a good game.
Great story.
Yeah, great story. But like it's the overarching like feeling is like, oh wow, this really sucks.
And I think there's something to be said about just the numbness of suspension that is created by a heaviness, but you are feeling nothing in the midst of it.
Well, some people perceive that as freedom, but some perceive that as something scary or something to tense up upon. So that's something like
We're getting so deep.
Layers.
that's what float gives us.
I feel like we're like back in our like, you know, emo phase.
I used to have that hair.
Aww.
I had to change mine after listening to like, all our conversations.
Really?
So I had something
Really?
that, especially after our talk about my nascence choice with Journey and the glide, this melodic line could be easily conceived as glides. I think I'm doing something that's not as in. Towards students, I wonder if they would enjoy my initial piece first, just from Xenoblade Chronicles 1. But I think I'm going to throw a curve, and this is going to be from Mass Effect.
Okay.
Vigil.
Oh, really?
Yes. Though the part that I remembered the most is actually from Mass Effect 3 after, if you so choose to do this path, when, what's the Solarian's name?
I don't really play that game, so
Oh, it's so good.
I've heard of it.
It's one of those things you're being put on the spot and it's not coming to
Yeah,
you. It's like,
Anyways, like it's for a specific moment where
if you know,
I'm gonna get a lot of comments below, but yeah, when he does something very important in the last game.
Morden.
Yes,
Solus.
Morden Solus. So, but
There we go.
this is just this piece.
What is the title?
It's called a Vigil. This one is from Mass Effect 1, but it's later alluded, which gives even more suspension, I feel like. Aligning with the Jasmine heavy theme.
See, this is where I see the opposite of what.
You feel press?
No.
No, opposite.
This is the opposite of like you're floating above.
Yeah.
This is like
you're floating in water.
Yeah.
You're floating in heaviness.
Yeah.
You're floating in a weight, and then you hear that, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I see something above there." Like, that's why I was like, it's the polar opposite of
being floating in air, and this is
like when I was
floating.
picking up The Last Guardian.
in
It
a
was like I'm in the
substance.
air. I have this feeling of freedom. Whereas this one is like, I'm floating in this dark
Weight.
weight.
Yeah.
Or
There- I mean, there's
floating
still
in
a
outer
lightness.
space.
Yeah, like it's an outer
Yeah.
space tension. So
It's-
like the vastness is being portrayed.
much.
beautifully.
Yeah, in zero gravity.
Very much so.
I was really vibing with it until like the whoa, 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 whoa.
It was like the vibes are gone.
Yeah, I was like, I don't like that part. Which is another reason why you should watch the video of this, because you can see our facial expressions go.
Just Jamie's. Yeah.
Your face too.
I was waiting for the song. I was waiting for the hit. That's why. Oh. That's the glimmer of just attachment. Because otherwise, it is the vastness of space, and then you have that.
But that's still that float.
Yes.
And that's where I was like, for that one, it felt like a darker float. Like I was
Very much so.
I wonder what.
like I had control in the because I had that weight, and this one was like,
Yeah.
I don't have any weight. I'm looking for a guideline, and then the boom, I was like, okay, there's my guide.
Yeah, like the way I said it, I felt it was like I'm floating in water rather than I'm floating in the air. Like I'm moving.
Yeah.
I'm feeling weightlessness, but when I'm floating in air, right, there's this quickness feeling that I'm able to experience versus this that we experience. I'm still floating, but now like my movements are much more pressed. It's slower moving, but I'm still feeling like I'm floating, right? But there's now resistance in that float.
Yes, yeah, it's suspension but resistance. Yeah,
And a couple of our examples is more. There was that feeling of going up with the pitch or whatever and vocals, but it was definitely going up and then back down. And in this one, I wonder how other listeners would interpret this floatiness if they didn't know that this is a game about outer space.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, because, and actually I almost forgot that it was about a game from outer space, especially because I was feeling the heaviness and the watery effect. And then I was like, it feels like we're in outer, wait, it is a game from outer space.
yeah. How about you, Genesis?
Okay.
How does some? Bring some.
It's a throwback.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
Maple Story.
I was never able to play that game.
Never played it. It's
Because-
a PC game, right?
It's a PC game, MMO, 2D.
Yeah. When I was living in South Korea, like all my friends could play this game because, well, the only way to play this game is if you had a Korean ID. If you were like a Korean citizen. And being an American citizen living in Korea, I was never able to play this game because I didn't have that.
For like PC cafes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was really sad. All of my friends could play except me.
Yeah, it was fun.
What's the name of this piece?
The name of the piece is Temple of Time.
Temple of Time.
So if you're familiar with the game, then it should be, yeah. If you're familiar, you know the stage.
I was missed that. I like it. I think something that's really important is just this almost not a lack of melody, but like a lack of linearity. Otherwise, it goes towards glide. Because the initial when it was playing, I was like, "Oh, this sounds so much like my first choice," but it didn't. The melody didn't go anywhere necessarily, and so it allowed you to be suspended in this suspension. So
Yes, you're literally suspended like through the whole entire experience.
I think float is
It was giving me some Ghibli vibes.
Right?
yeah.
That's all I was thinking. I was like, oh wow.
Your thoughts, Jamie?
No, I definitely heard the floatiness. I guess I was hearing plenty of other elements too.
Yeah,
It's
it was
like-
like a yes and.
Yeah, this one was very yes and,
Yeah.
but like I
agree.
float spoke to me the most. Like when I was like contemplating this, I was like, it could fit in a few other things, but because Jamie took Genshin, this was my second choice.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of floating and gliding in that one.
Cool. Well, that was our 8 choices. We're going to go and circle back all of these and remind ourselves what those were after the break.
I want to take a quick break and thank my husband Brian, who's been working behind the scenes producing these episodes every week on all of the platforms and on time. But you need to know that he is first a financial planner for Mission Trails Financial. Mission Trails Financial is a partner that seeks to guide clients in the journey to financial success. They believe that people need a financial advisor that aims to provide strategies for success. Mission Trails Financial helps people navigate investments, tax planning, and insurance. Imagine working with an advisor who isn't tied to specific brands. Mission Trails Financial has a fiduciary responsibility to act in the best interests of their clients by providing independent, objective advice. Their mission is to help clients accomplish their financial goals. As Joe Vitale once said, a goal should scare you a little and excite you a lot. Do yourself a favor and set up a time to chat with Mission Trails Financial. Visit www.missiontrailsfinancial.com or call 619-419-0238 to schedule a call. You'll be glad you did. We believe that leaning on professionals is how we get ahead. Check out the program notes for more information.
Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome back to the break. But before we get back to our original, the whole set of each of our stuff, just a reminder, thank you all for joining us. Thank you for being part of this whole journey. It's been, I think it's about 5 years, 6 years we've done this, which is wild. 2018.
Wow.
So add the math. 6 years. Yeah, which is awesome.
Congrats.
Thank you. It's been a journey. And if you want to make sure this journey keeps on going, support the things you love. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/chclassroom, which you can support us monetarily at different levels. You can receive different things, such as merch or also lesson ideas. But also, if you can't support us monetarily, that's okay. But please also make sure you do tell your friends about this and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, or just subscribe to us on YouTube. And if you have any questions or ideas for this kind of stuff, you can always email us at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com. Now, back to this. We've done a lot over these past 2 episodes. Kind of made this one a little bit longer, actually. But just to remind ourselves, do you have your lists written out?
Yes.
Okay, Jasmine, how about we start with you? What were your 8 options? So if you could say the Laban movement and then it's attached to the song and which game?
Okay. So Float, The Last Guardian, Overture, Lore. Glide, Eternal Darkness, Ashes to Ashes. Dab, Detroit Become Human, Little One. Flick, Sidorica, Mirage. Ring, Wuthering Waves, Jinchi Village. Push, Shadow of the Colossus, Demise of the Ritual. Punch, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Battle. Slash, Nier Automata, Dark Colossus.
Awesome. And Jamie, do you want to go next?
Sure. Float, Ghost of Tsushima, Forgotten Song. Glide. Sorry, Genesis, but Glide is Tetris theme. Haha.
I don't know. I don't know.
And if you're listening on the podcast, I'm shaking my head profusely.
Continue on the
He's just
Jamie.
staring straight at the camera.
Dab, Super Mario Brothers theme song. Flick, Legend of Zelda. I was thinking Ocarina of Time, the Great Fairy Fountains theme, but orchestrated by the La Orchestra Cinematique. Ring, God of War Ragnarok, To Forgive or to Kill. Push, Genshin Impact, Sumeru. Okay. Punch, Final Fantasy 15. Festival de Chocobo. Slash, Persona 5. Getaway and Arrest.
Awesome. Genesis, you want to go?
All right. For my list, Punch was Megaman 2, Dr. Wily's Castle. For Press, I chose Celeste's Little Goth. For Slash, it was Final Fantasy X, the battle theme. For Ring, it was Kingdom Hearts 2, Dearly Beloved. For Dab, it was Kingdom Hearts, Traverse Town. For Glide, Hollow Knight, Enter Hollownest. Flick was Pokemon Red and Blue, the bicycle theme. And then for Float was Maple Story's Temple of Time.
Awesome. And for my selection for Float, I chose Vigil from Mass Effect 1 by Jack Wall. For Glide, I chose Nascence from Journey by Austin Wintory. For Dab, I chose... It wasn't that one. What was it? It wasn't Beneath Worlds.
Spirits.
Yeah, I know that's the game, but what's the song called?
Saplings.
Saplings. Kingdom Bridge of Spirits, Volume 1 by Theophany. For Flick, I chose A Proper Story from Bastion by Darren Korb. For Ring, I chose A Shine Upon Inkwater Marsh, Ori and the Will of the Wisps by Gareth Coker. For Push, I chose The Great Sea Stirs from Xenoblade Chronicles 3, composed by Ace. And lastly, for Punch, no, 2 more. For Punch, I chose Dragonborn from the game The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim by Jeremy Soule. And lastly, Slash, I chose, and really upset Genesis with One-Winged Angel Rebirth from Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Salty.
Nobuo Uematsu. Now, the thing is, these are, feel free to use all these resources if you think this would work well with your kids, by all means. But please also let us know. We're going to put up a form on the Googles and send it out through our social media on Instagram. If let us know which list do you like the most, and then within X amount of weeks we'll announce the winner.
I don't care which one you like the most. I just care that you all tell Jamie she's wrong about Tetris.
Speaking of which, where could you tell
agreed.
Jamie?
You agreed with it.
Typically we'd have around the week, but it's a longer episode. So we're just going to go to our socials and peace on out. Jamie, where can they tell you that you're right or wrong?
Right, of course. You can find me on Instagram at JMEJUNE, Jamie June.
Awesome.
Even though that's not how you say my name.
Jimmy. Jasmine, how about you?
You can find me on Jasmine Rice Flour. Flour like the baking ingredient, not the plant.
With a U, not
The U.
FLOUR.
FLOUR. And Genesis, how about you?
You can find me on Instagram at Mr. Santos Music Teacher, and you can also email me directly at mrsantosmusicteacher@gmail.com.
Awesome. And you can find me at Mr. Seligman, MRSELIGMAN on all the socials. Also, you can find us at CH Classroom. If you have another idea on what kind of competition we can do or what other area we can focus on, maybe it's not Laban, something else, whether it's video game music or any other kind of music that's not typical, let us know. You can email us at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com. Thank you all so much for listening. Please make sure you vote, and bye.
Bye.
Later.
The Chaotic Harmony podcast is a joint project between Crystal Pridmore and Jonathan Seligman. You can find us online at chaoticharmonyclassroom.com. You can email us at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail and let us know what you think. Give us feedback about what you would like to hear in future episodes. We're on all the socials. Find us on facebook.com/chaoticharmonyclassroom. You can find us on Twitter at CHClassroom, Instagram at Chaotic Harmony Classroom, and you can even find our episodes on YouTube. Chaotic Harmony is the name of our channel. Special thanks to Brian Pridmore for his help with production and equipment. www.pridmoria.com.